Hi folks, welcome back. I'm Janae Cherie, and today we're going to be talking about my experiences with hair loss, getting my head shaved, and then regrowth as I went through AC and Taxol chemo for breast cancer treatment. So thank you all for joining. If you are currently on a cancer journey, I am so sorry for what you're going through. I hope that my videos can provide you some insight into what you'll be dealing with and what that will look like as you move forward. So I'm currently 20 months post AC chemo and 16 months post Taxol chemo and 15 months cancer free. So this is where my hair is today. I'm very happy with it at this moment. It's the first time it's really felt manageable as the last couple of months. We'll talk through that journey as it regrew. But this is where I am today. But we're going to take a look at the whole process from chemo treatment to falling out and so on. So let's talk about the hair loss process. And admittedly, I did not take a lot of pictures of my hair during the hair loss because it wasn't pretty. My hair looked normal until after my second round of AC chemo. So for people who are new to my channel, I had 20 rounds of chemo. 4 of those were AC chemo, adromycin cytoxin, and then 16 treatments every week of Taxol chemo. So it took about 6 months because the AC chemo was every other week. Taxol was weekly. We had some delays in there when I got sick and some other things. So about 6-7 months of treatment. So after the first AC treatment, I started to feel some scalp pain, some tingling, little things on my scalp. It was very uncomfortable. It started to get uncomfortable to lie down. It started to get uncomfortable laying on my pillow. Super sensitive. After the second AC chemo treatment, though, is when things started getting really bad. And that's when the hair actually started falling out. So this was about week 3 in the chemotherapy journey. And what started happening is the pain just got so intense. It was like every hair follicle as it was dying, just shrieking in pain and causing the worst scalp tenderness I've ever experienced in my life. And then what was happening is in chunks, my hair was just falling out. I did, for those who are also new, I have a separate video talking about trying to use the cold cap so I could save my hair. It was a very bad experience for me, but I know many people have success with the cold cap. But in my case, after trying it the first treatment and having such a horrible experience, I said, absolutely not. My hair is not worth this kind of pain. So, but after the second AC treatment is when I started to really see that hair loss happen. And so big chunks of hair would come out every day. So I'd go into the shower after sleeping all night or trying to sleep all night, and I would just feel what felt like spiders slithering down my body. And what it was is chunks of hair just coming out and just crawling with the water. Ugh, ugh, it's so gross. And of course, I just find these giant chunks in the drain, and it was very, it was gross, but the pain was the worst part. And like I said, the scalp pain was just immeasurable. And at first you couldn't see spots. It was just kind of, okay, I lost a big handful of hair, but you'd look in the mirror and it wasn't noticeable. And so that happened for about 5 or 6 days where I would just see hair, coming out. It was clearly coming out because I'd find it in the drain, but it wasn't so noticeable. And then about day 7, day 8, after it started, and so keep in mind, so this is going into week 4, is when you could start to see just big open patches. And I do have some screen caps that I'll share, and you're going to see a video in a second of when it got shaved off. And you can just see it's just giant chunks missing. And that's when I was like, all right, this is no good. If I could have hidden it for a little longer, and it wouldn't be so noticeable, maybe it was just thin, no big deal. But it was so obvious that I had giant chunks missing from my scalp. And I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel like I looked good. I felt like I looked sick. I mean, I was sick, but I just felt so uncomfortable, and it was gross. The areas where the hair had fallen out were super soft, like smooth as a baby's bottom. Like there'd never been a hair follicle there in the first place, which was really interesting versus, and we'll talk about this in a minute, when it was shaved, and I had shaved my hair before, you could always feel where that shave happened because it's never quite perfect, at least not for me. It was never perfectly smooth. For those of you with natural hair loss, I'm sure you might be able to relate to that, but that was new for me. So that was interesting. So after about 9 days of hair loss and starting to look just super messy with giant chunks missing, I said, okay, I need help. So I called my friend Jenny, who is a wonderful woman, and she's a hairstylist. So I called her and asked if she'd be willing to shave my head, and she was wonderful. She said absolutely. And so let's transition. I have a video of my head shaving experience, and take a look. You'll be able to see in the first minute of the video what the hair kind of looked like during that hair loss phase.
All right, hi everybody. It's very exciting. As you can see, I have been losing lots of chunks of hair every day, every morning. And so now we're just gonna call it and we're gonna make it all go away so that I will not clog the drain anymore. And life will be good, life will be good. This is Jenny. Hello. My darling hairstylist friend. And she's gonna help me out here.
All right. Where do we want to start? Front or back?
Whatever makes sense.
Where does it feel the best?
Probably we'll just start in the front and make
Go
it
back?
as dramatic as possible
Yeah.
for us, because for the viewers.
I like it. Get one good straight down the middle.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Woohoo! First cut made!
Very nice, very nice.
We're gonna rock it. It's gonna look great.
I had my head half shaved once and the other side was long and I actually really enjoyed it. But it's a little different when your hair is falling out in pieces and you're like, okay.
I bet it's gonna feel so refreshed.
Perfect time of year. It is hot, so at least it's not December and freezing.
Oh yeah.
How do I look, babe?
Right now, you look like you got one of those fancy future haircuts where half your head is missing.
It's very Fifth Element.
Like you want to spray paint your...
Yeah.
No, like she wants to spray paint her teeth and witness me.
Behold her glory, all shiny and chrome.
Is it feeling scratchy at all? Or are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. I think my kids are just drama queens, but whenever I shave their head, they're like, "Oh my god, it's fine." So I'm paranoid.
Like they say it's catching the skin.
I think it's just the feeling of it going along your scalp like that, like
See,
the drag.
I love the feeling of the trimmer. It feels good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of satisfying, right?
It's like it's touching every hair follicle. And so it's like almost like a little massage on your scalp.
Oh,
at the same
good.
time. All the puppies are here to support.
Now we got fully half.
All right.
Playtime. Happy playtime.
They're very supportive.
Well, at least they like each other.
Thank you, goodness. Halfway done.
Just one little part left. Almost there. Get all the back, and then we'll just clean it up at the end. Get all the pieces.
I'm not worried. They don't doesn't care that we're recording, clearly.
Clearly not.
Not so vicious.
All right, now she's got the mohawk.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Do I
true.
have a mohawk now?
Ooh.
Fancy. No, we'll just have to spike it. I'm just kidding.
Super punk.
Very perfect. We'll get ideas for later for the wedding.
Yeah.
All right, there goes the little last bit.
And we'll be able to put some play with some wigs and play with some fun little hats. We'll be good to go. And then eventually we'll grow back, or so they say.
Yeah,
It will grow back.
it will definitely grow back. We'll get some good products to help it too. Help your hair follicles.
I'm gonna have you doing Picard impressions from now on, okay?
Okay.
Make it so.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot. There are 4 lives.
All right.
Oh,
Get all the long stuff off for you. I'll go over it one last time.
How's it feel?
How's it feel?
feels good. Feels good. I can definitely tell where the hair has fallen off versus where it's been shaved.
Yeah.
It's because some areas are smooth as there's nothing, and then
Yeah.
some areas have little stubble. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'll go over it one more time too, just to get it a little more from all the angles now. Tell me if it's like irritating your skin.
I think I'm alright. It is funny that your kids complain about that.
Oh, it's so funny. It made me so paranoid now because usually I do like girls' haircuts with long hair. But whenever I do the boys, now I'm like, oh my God, am I going to scrape them? But I think they're just being dramatic. Ow, it hurts. You know?
Admittedly, I've never seen my whole head shaved. How is it? Is it round?
You have
or
a good
do I
head
have any
shape.
weird divots that I didn't know about before?
No.
No?
Looks pretty normal.
I was a C-section, so I didn't have my skull didn't have to compress like everybody else's.
If you look at my baby photos, I am an absolute cone head. Like, I would look awful with my head shaved. I'd look like an alien. But your head is perfect for this.
Well, there you go. That's
You're gonna rock it.
I'll get some temporary tattoos, put them on my head.
Oh my gosh. That's a great idea. Get it all? I don't think so.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
All right. My blonde hair everywhere. Even if you miss a stray one, it will fall out on its own at some point. So it will be just fine.
That's true. Okay, I think we got him. All right.
All right. Fancy.
Want to brush off real quick?
Sure.
Get all the fluff.
That would make things a lot easier.
All right. Let's see. Oh, wow. Wow, that's interesting. Admittedly, I might probably go over it with an actual razor blade at some point to just remove the little
little
stubblies.
Yeah, you know what we could get? We can get one of those, like, I think they call it a balding shaver.
Yeah.
Oh
Which I
yeah.
don't have
We
'cause
were
I think
just
it's a
looking at.
barber
We
thing.
just saw one of those online the other day. But admittedly, I'll probably do that just so that it's just all
Yeah.
skin. Either with a razor. I'm pretty sure with a razor, I could in 2 seconds in the shower. I could just.
That's true.
And
Yeah,
then,
probably pretty easy to do.
that is interesting.
Take some getting used to. You do have an amazingly good shaped head.
It's very round, which is good. I didn't know. I had no idea what we were gonna find. Like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, this is where take some getting used to. Oh, we got wigs.
So I hope you enjoyed that video. I can really feel what I was going through when I watched it, but I don't know how well that actually carries over. I was really sad. This whole process, of course, cancer is quite a journey. Looking back on it, it's really nice to see that, you know, I am healthy now. At the time, I wasn't healthy and I didn't know where I was at or where I was going to be a year from now. But now I know I am healthy. I'm happy. I have hair again. Hair is just such a small piece, but it really is such a piece of your identity. And I hit it well in the video, at least I think I did, though you can see me getting a little emotional in the bathroom while I was looking at it in the mirror. But it was really hard. I mean, I looked different. I didn't feel like myself because of all the chemo treatment and the fatigue. But I really, all of a sudden, taking that hair off felt like I was looking at someone else entirely in the mirror. And like I said, I have no pictures of what the hair loss looked like because I didn't take any, because I didn't want any. And yet I recorded this video, so I'm glad I did that because I committed to you all that I would monitor my journey and share it with everyone. But I did not take pictures of what that chunky missing haircut looked like because I didn't want to see it. I can totally understand a healthy person choosing to shave your hair for a new style. Shoot, I had a hairstyle once where half of my head was shaved. Loved it. Great hairstyle. I've never gotten so many compliments on a hairstyle in my life. But having cancer and having chemo make you lose your hair, it takes away all choice. It just felt very violating, if that makes sense. Cancer just takes all these things from you. It takes so much of your life and your normalcy, and the hair is a very dramatic physical representation of what's taken from you. And it was really hard. And there was definitely a very distinct grieving process for getting used to the new look and adjusting to the new face. Fortunately, I have an amazing partner. He was so sweet. He got his head shaved same day, which is so kind of him. I have a couple pictures of him. You'll see with us being twinsies with the shaved heads. And he was such a supportive person during this process. One thing I'll say, and then we'll talk a little bit about the regrowth and what that looked like, is that during the AC chemo, I had constant scalp pain. And I know I said that earlier. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here. It did fade, but it didn't really fade until about midway through the Taxol chemo process. So as it started to regrow, the pain would lessen. The hair did start regrowing toward the end of the Taxol treatment. Like I said, it's 16 sessions of those. And that's when the pain started going away, which was great because holy cow, I've always loved head rubs and massages and whatever, and I did not want anybody touching my head. Absolutely not. And even things like, we talk about wearing wigs or hats, which I'll share in a second, and especially during the AC chemo, I didn't even want to do that because it was very uncomfortable with the tingling and itchy and painful scalp. That being said, I did get used to it. I actually felt like I looked pretty good bald. What didn't look great is as I continued going through chemo and my body became more and more tired, the cancer treatment began to really show through. But of course, I don't have a ton of pictures of me looking like crap because who takes pictures of that? But I did feel like I looked pretty decent on a good day. And I certainly know now that if I wanted to shave my head for fun, that I don't look terrible. So that's always reassuring. So here's a picture of me and my partner, Matt, who was so sweet, got his head shaved same day. And then just a picture of me post-shave, what it looked like. I love this picture. This is a silly picture of me and a buddy from Search and Rescue. And we just thought we looked like twinsies. So one of the things that I did do and I had a ton of fun with, even though I didn't actually wear them very often, was wigs. And I pulled out wigs for special occasions primarily, and then honestly just to be silly. I was pretty much 100% virtual for work, and it was great because I had certain meetings that we could be a little bit more relaxed in. My boss's boss always had crazy hair, and I loved that I could compete with her now with some of these wigs. So I would show up to our leadership meeting every week with a different color wig. So take a look at some of the wigs that I got. I had some amazing friends gift me with wigs. I bought a couple wigs. It's amazing what you can get on Amazon for like $20 for a nice wig. So here's one that I really had fun with, was some blue wigs and some rainbowy wigs. My partner Matt, I even convinced him to put on a wig. Pretty sure he doesn't know this picture's going in here, or he'd probably steal my laptop and hide it from me. I actually, this was a fun red wig I found. I really like the deep red hair. I wore that for a Victorian costume I was wearing for the Dickens Festival that year. So then there's this blonde wig, which I did not end up wearing, probably will never end up wearing. It made me think of an entitled white woman hairstyle, the typical grocery store throwing a fit person. I'm trying not to use the word Karen because I know some very lovely Karens, and they are not like the ones in our current vernacular. But that's what I thought of when I saw that, and I said, I don't think I'm ever going to wear that. No, I'm not. I loved my rainbow wig. I have this, it's the pink, purple, blue. So much fun. I loved it. It was beautiful. No idea when I would ever wear it outside of being silly and having fun, but it was a great time. Same with the fire wig. I loved the fire wig. I ended up actually wearing that with my mother-in-law and my partner as we went to an event one day during the chemo treatments as well. And then this is my Halloween costume that year. I was Winifred Sanderson, and the wig was great. Just throw it on. I don't have to worry about having hair or not for Halloween. Hats were honestly, though, my go-to. So I get cold easily. And now even with the hot flashes, cold flashes, and all the things that come with chemo and the forced menopause, I did often want to wear a hat during the process. And not because I was ashamed of being bald, because I actually went bald quite a bit as well. But again, temperature, heat, and comfort, not wanting to get my head sunburned. That was a big issue, especially during Taxol, is not having it exposed to the sun. So I wore a lot of hats. I love the different hats. It is so much fun, the things you can style and do and make work. For my brother's wedding, I wore a big black floppy hat, and it was great. It worked. It was so fun with the outfit and the day, and I didn't feel like I was drawing attention from my brother at his wedding while also not being so overly crazy that it was ridiculous. So this is a picture about 3 months post AC chemo and about 2/3 of the way through, so about 10 or 12 sessions in from the Taxol chemo. Midway through Taxol, I could start to feel my hair growing back, as you can see, and I started using Rogaine for women. That was a recommendation I found on a cancer survivors forum, but honestly, I didn't try very hard. I never remembered to use it. I used it maybe 10 times before I completely forgot. And by then the hair was actually starting to grow back on its own anyway. And so I just said, screw it. I don't need to waste my time with extra chemicals. I'm just going to let it grow back on its own. You can see here in this picture that my hair is starting to kind of have a shadow. There really wasn't anything there, but there was definitely a little shadow of fuzz starting to come through, and it started to feel a little bit fuzzy. The follicles were healing. Most of the pain was gone at this point, which was great because the pain had just been absolutely brutal. So that was fantastic improvement, and I could start to see that, hey, even though I'm still going through chemo, I'm not cancer-free. Something is healing, and that was really nice and reassuring. All right, so this picture is 4 months post AC treatment, just as I'm finishing Taxol treatment, and you can now see that I actually have discernible hair on my head, and this was exciting. And I looked just like my brother, which I thought that was hilarious. So we 100% looked like twins. This is a picture of 5 months post AC treatment, 1 month post Taxol, and you can see the hair is about 1 inch. At this point, the pain has completely gone away. No more scalp pain. Fantastic. And I actually feel like, hey, I've got hair now. There's nothing you can do with it. I would pretty much just use a little tiny bit of gel and just swipe it through the back of my hair just so that it would kind of look like it was intentionally styled, even though it's nothing really I could do, just to kind of spike it a little bit. A month later, we're now 6 months post AC. I have about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of hair. It's feeling good. It's growing faster. Another month later, we've got some more. It is starting to get really kind of all over the place wavy a little bit, and it gets really noticeable in the coming months that my hair is curly. It was never curly before that. Never, ever, ever. I got married actually in February, and I wore a top hat for my wedding to cover the fact that I had no hair. And it was great. Worked perfectly. So here we go in May, 10 months post AC, 6 months post Taxol, 5 months cancer free, and it is so curly. It's just little curly loops all over my head. There's, again, nothing to do with it. Just throw in some gel and move on. This picture is great. This picture is 12 months post AC chemo, and I realized that I knew I was going to do this video at some point, and I figured people would get a kick out of what my hair looks like in the morning. And so again, 12 months post AC, it was getting long enough that I needed to do something with it. So it's about this time that instead of starting to gel, every morning I'd have to take a shower, which I mean, I'd take a shower anyway, take a shower, but I have to comb it flat. And that's essentially what I do now every day. I've been doing this for the last 8 months, is I just comb it flat, because if I don't comb it flat, it just goes everywhere. So this is my morning, what it looks like before I jump in the shower, comb it down, and then I did it to lie flat. But the good news is it's tameable. Again, everyone's hair is different. I will say that my doctor warned me that when your hair grows back, it often grows back very different texture and even a different color than it was pre-cancer. And so different texture for sure. I never had curly hair before, ever, ever, ever. But it's also redder than it was ever before. And this lighting isn't great. And I know I am majority a blonde, but there's definitely more red highlights than I recall ever having before, which is fun. Keeps it interesting. The curly hair is interesting. It's hard to manage, but they also say that eventually it will, as your skin and follicles heal, and maybe it will never heal, but they do say most people, their hair will eventually return to its normal texture. But that could be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, who's to say? So this is August, 13 months post AC. You can see I've kind of combed my hair. I've started doing exactly what I'm doing today. The side part, get it to comb down, be manageable. Got a little curly loops coming under the ears, not nearly as much as I have right now. And it's starting to get stylable. A couple months later, you can see this is kind of what it would look like after I jump out of the shower. A nice, quick, and easy comb with the wet hair. Get it to lie in place. And then it loosens up over time, over the day. And here we go, 15 months post AC. You can see me being silly on some of these pictures. But I was feeling pretty good. Like I started to feel like this is actually a manageable hairstyle, able to do what I wanted with it. This is November, 16 months post AC, 12 months post Taxol. Again, very comfortable. I've yet to get my hair cut, believe it or not, because I don't know what to do with it. So if you have any suggestions for a good, cute little pixie cut, because I've always liked short hair. I've had short hair for the last decade. This is longer than my hair has been in a decade. But I've been having fun with it, just kind of wanting to see what happened. And I really wanted to do this video before I cut it. So here we are. Maybe my next video I'll have a nice haircut. But definitely shoot me some suggestions. What do you do with a hair that is now magically, naturally curly and yet is not terribly manageable? And I am lazy. I am a 5 minutes max in the morning hair person, and usually less. I want to comb it in place. I want it to stay. I want it to be done. I do not want to do anything other than that, and I haven't in years unless it's a very nice occasion. So if you have any suggestions, I could use them. Here's 2 months ago. So this is 18 months post AC, 14 months post Taxol. And it was finally long enough to actually tie back. So you can see one of these pictures, I have my hair tied back in a little ponytail thing, and it's getting really long and straggly when I don't do anything with it, but it actually works out. It works out. And most of the time it's looked just like it does right now, just a little bit shorter in the length. And here's today. These are pictures taken in the last couple of weeks. And of course you can see me on the screen. This is today, 20 months post-AC, 16 months post-Taxol, 15 months cancer-free. So yeah, that's the journey. It's been quite an interesting one. So with that, folks, that is my hair loss, removal, growth journey. It's been quite a ride. Really appreciate you guys listening in. If you like listening to these kinds of stories, or if you're currently going through your own cancer journey, don't forget to press the like and subscribe button so you can see my future updates. Please do share your comments, suggestions, feedback, recommendations. What did you experience during your cancer journey and regarding hair loss and growth and restoration? And how did that differ from mine? Is there any suggestions? Is there any regrowth techniques or anything else that you might recommend somebody else use? Unfortunately, I don't really have many tips for you all. I think all of our journeys are a little different. I definitely felt an emotional impact having my hair cut off, even though I never really thought I was that connected to my appearance. I never really felt like I was vain. But at the same time, I definitely felt like some of my identity was gone for a minute. And I think what really helped me the most is just taking a minute to embrace this new identity. And I did that, as I mentioned, with being silly, throwing on some wigs, throwing on some fun hats. Find something that makes you feel good about it. And I think that's really what helped me the most as I look back. That's really what helped. It's finding a way to feel good about my appearance with everything going on. People do notice, hey, she doesn't have a shaved head. She looks pretty tired. I wonder if she's going through chemo. Had a lot of people ask me, hey, are you going through cancer right now? And I said, yeah, I am. And some people just want to talk about it. They can relate. They've seen it in their own, they've seen it themselves. They've seen it in their own mirror at some point and they recognize the signs. But I met some amazing people because I was bald. And because it was so visible, but at the same, and that was a really interesting and exciting journey in itself. So I would just say, embrace the suck. It takes a minute. Your hair will grow back. Find some nice hats or wigs, and you'll get through this. And focus on being healthy and happy, and take them one step at a time. Anyhow, I wish I had more practical advice than that. I think that's all I can have to say. With that, thank you all for listening in. As always, I'm Janae Cherie, and I'm here to tell my stories. I appreciate you.